Hi, I'm Jesse Brown, also known as the Holistic Guru, here with some health tips. As a traditional naturopath with experience of over 30 years in the field of holistic health, I've got a lot of things to share and I get asked a lot of questions. Two of the questions that I'm going to address today have to do with longevity. People want to know, how can they live longer? Well, nobody can guarantee that, but we can do some things that will increase our chances of living longer if we don't get into an accident or have something unexpected happen. Secondly, people ask me about how to lower their risk factors for the major diseases: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, immune system problems, those types of things. So I'm going to tell you about something that I found out a long time ago when I was reading an article. It was about research on people who were right here in the United States who were living longer and who had 25 to 75% lower risks of diseases than the general population. We had heard about all these people who live in some faraway place in the Himalayas or in Russia or China or Japan or some other country. But we weren't hearing about people who were living a long time here under normal circumstances, living just as everybody else does and working just as the general population does. Well, that group I'm glad to tell you about is the Seventh Day Adventist. Well, I'm not a Seventh Day Adventist. I'm not trying to convert you or advocating for any religious group, but it's important that we study groups that stand out from the average, especially as it comes to health. And I'm going to tell you about four things that the Seventh Day Adventists do that contributes to 4 to 7 years longer lifespan, and two, that 25 to 75% lower risk of all chronic diseases, of all the major chronic diseases anyway. And so those things are: one, observing the Sabbath. Okay. Now you could also look at that as having at least 1 day of rest. A lot of people are working 6 days, 7 days, afternoons, midnights, all kinds of crazy hours, and don't get enough rest. Most people, most Americans are fatigued, as chronically fatigued, don't get enough rest, and don't feel well, feel lower energy, and that contributes to higher risk of disease, higher rates of obesity, higher rates of cancer, higher rates of heart disease, and a high level of stress. Well, the second factor is diet. The Adventists that had the lower risk factors and the better health were vegetarians. Yes, they were on what we call a plant-based diet. What's a plant-based diet? If it comes from a plant, eat it. If it's processed in a plant, avoid it. That's your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, your beans, nuts, seeds, those things that come from living foods and come from nature primarily, avoiding the animal products. The third factor was avoiding alcohol, tobacco products, including smoking, and caffeinated products. Okay? When we avoid these types of foods and these types of behaviors, it increases our longevity, and it decreases all the risk factors that contribute to those chronic diseases that we hear about all the time. Sometimes it's not in your genes, genes. It's what's in your jans. The genes are the clothes that you put on that causes us to live or die and when. Now, the fourth factor is having a community of support. Yep. If whatever we want to do, if we have a community of support around us, people who are helpful, people who are friendly, people that we can relax and have a good time with, that's good for your health. And of course, laughter is good medicine. So find some people that you can laugh with, eat well with, without the alcohol and tobacco, and that it will give you the time and the support to get your rest because, like me, you really need it and you deserve it. This is Jesse Brown, and you can follow me on Facebook or under Jesse Brown under Detroit Holistic Center, the Holistic Training Institute, or go to holistictraininginstitute.com. I'll share information on what a plant-based diet consists of and other helpful tips. You can also text the word holistic, that's WHOLISTIC, to the number 22828. That's to the number 22828. Text the word holistic, and I'll share free tools, tips, techniques that would help you, your family members. I wish you long life and great health, my friends. Thank you.